Welcome back, everybody, to the Hammerdown Festival YouTube channel. And today we are sat with our main stage openers on the Saturday, the wonderful Chvpters. How are we, everyone?
Yeah, really good. Woo, woo.
Very
Excited.
excited, yeah.
3 members are joining from Spanish Villa today, as you can see. A beautiful setting in their lovely villa garden. So, guys, I first saw you at the Green Door store, I don't know, a year and a half or 2 years ago, something like that. And pretty quickly, it was very obvious to me that you're not just a band that's focused around one member. Like Paige, we all know you've got a wonderful voice, and a lot of bands would focus all of the writing around that and make it really easy, catchy, hooky, whatever. But I think there's a real depth of the music that you write alongside it. And I wanted to know, is that something that you're quite conscious of, to not make it a one-trick band?
Us as individuals, when we come together as a band, I feel like we all bring such different elements. Like we've all sort of worked together on and off over the last sort of few years. Aside from Paige, obviously, like when we started as a band, we brought Paige in, and she just brought this absolutely incredible element that we didn't really consider before, alongside, like I say, all of our own individual sort of traits that we like to do when it comes to our songwriting. And yeah, like you say, like when we're on stage, it's not just about, you know, Paige because she's the lead singer, or like Ollie because, you know, he's got this incredible guitar skill, or George because he's got this like awesome screaming ability of drums, or from Ben or myself for whatever reason, I guess. But like, you know, I feel it's us as a collective. I feel like that's how every band should really treat, you know, how they present themselves on stage. It's not just one person, it's like the entire ensemble.
Yeah, we've all got loads of different personal influences, don't we? Which we're like clashing heads almost in a nice way, just to all get our own like personal tastes in. I think it really creates our sound, doesn't it?
I actually find it really, really interesting because I think that's the first person that I've heard from. I think, Harry, you're the first person to kind of make that notable to us, because I've never really noticed that, but I guess we do. I guess we don't really focus on one part of a song. We write and we adapt it together. Yeah, it kind of just blends. It's just like we don't really focus on anything.
I think it was helpful for us. Not you, Paige.
Not me.
I think it was helpful for the guys that play the instruments in the band that there was a kind of while where we were writing a lot of the stuff instrumentally without like a voice in the room to be like is the main focus. Like there was a period of time where we were like, we're writing it so it can have vocals put on it.
We still do.
Yeah,
we still do. We don't write around me. I write around them, really.
We just kind of write instrumentals.
Yeah.
And I think we've been doing that for so long that we've just gotten very skilled at doing that. And obviously, as everyone said, we all have our own different musical influences, so it works really well. But then we're also always like, okay, we're writing this for a vocal. Like we're not writing some Animals as Leaders type stuff where it's like, it's going to be really weird. But I think as instrumentalists, we're quite good at writing a song that's interesting for all of the parts, but also works for vocals on top. And then obviously,
because I get to take it in whatever direction I feel. It's not aimed on a feeling or anything. It's as soon as I've listened to that track, I then feel a certain way about it, and that's what I'll write from.
That's probably actually a good way of looking at it. Like we don't, you know, write for a specific reason. We all sort of like write things to then give to someone to then do something different with it, and then they pass it on, and it all just sort of goes around until it's something that we've all had our hands in different ways. And I think that really just sort of helps culminate into like the sort of style that you hear us on stage with, or like tracks that are out to this day. You know, I think it's a pretty good way of doing it, I think.
Interesting. Paige, what you were saying there leads me nicely onto my next question, because you talk about how you feel a certain way after hearing the song. My favourite track at the moment is Actress, and I want to hear a little bit about what that's written about, a bit about the inspiration behind the song. Tell us about the track.
That's a very interesting one, actually, because it was the first ever demo that because basically I got given a catalogue of demos with weird names. Like there was no feeling towards it at all. This one was Actress was actually originally called Sweet Chugs.
It was. Oh my God.
We write demos, and Cam as well. Our demo files, when we write them, this is what I'm saying about writing instrumentals. We're like, the classic musician thing where we like, oh, I need a name for this file, so we'll just something random and then send it to everyone.
Yeah. I got Sweet Chugs, and that was like the first one that really like, because I had been writing alternative rock before this, and like poppy, very sassy.
Yeah.
This is a completely new style for me, but it's the one that kind of stood out for me.
It integrated into your style.
Yeah,
didn't it?
yeah. It was easy. It was a nice introduction into starting to write metal music, and my main emotion that I was going through when I was listening to that track was I wanted to write something about my transition from what I was doing before into metal music. Actress kind of is a alter ego for me. It was basically saying, you know, I want my inner self to be like, I'm going to give you a script, you're going to play me for the day. I'm not going to play myself. And the song is just exploring that kind of alter ego thing. Okay. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It was a introduction to me becoming my, I don't know, metal self.
The ultimate being.
She's like metal Batman.
Yeah, like I can't. Yeah. Like I don't have the rights to say any of these words. That's what I feel like.
Well, you do now. There's so that things seem to be going well. You did the Modern Era Fest. That was very good. I came to that. It was lovely. You've been doing some good shows, but you're taking a pause. You've put out, you know, that after Hammerdown, you're going to be taking a little bit of time away. And I wanted to know what you can tell us. What's going on? Spooky vibes. What's happening? What's going on?
I don't know. You should take this one.
Yeah, we can keep it fairly like nondescript, mystical answer.
Yeah,
but
we've got a huge project.
We've not had any music come out for a while, so
if nobody's noticed.
yeah.
There's no shortage of music though.
We're not putting out any more music. Is Ben's actual point? We're just done.
Yeah, that's it.
Guys.
We haven't been putting out for a while, so we got now. We're done now.
But yeah, if you'll have been to our live shows, you might have heard some new bits here and there, and we can probably leave it with that. New bits, big things on the way.
New things coming.
There's a little bit.
As every band says, big things coming.
Watch the space.
More specific, so the hype doesn't completely die off. Let's just say there is something this year, and then something next year.
Excellent. So, because some bands write a hell of a lot when they're on the road, and other bands are like must focus on the live show. So I'm guessing then that all of the shows you've been doing have pulled you a little bit away from doing the music, and that's why you're taking a pause from the live, or?
It's actually sculpted it nicely. Where we're doing this live stuff, we're kind of getting the impression of what that music is showing to people.
Okay.
So it's kind of sculpting what our big plans are.
I'd say that definitely now we've had time to settle in as a band. Like, what are we in our second year, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Jeez.
Okay, we sort of had our introduction, and we're coming more tight and glued together as a band, and we're sort of ready to have a little bit of a reset and attack it again with our sort of
with a bit more knowledge, because I feel like we've definitely gone through ups and downs. Really,
I think like you guys are saying, like
easily noticed what's gone wrong and how we and now we're just trying to make sure that it's all good.
Yeah, and I think it's just more that we kind of we're getting to a point where we're really discovering what our sound is.
Agreed.
I think, you know, with our first 3 singles, they're all really great songs, but I think through the 3 of them, there's kind of this, at least when I listen to them, there's this sort of idea that they're obviously us, but, you know, stylistically, it could be 3 different pathways, really.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's kind of a consistent sort of, not to get all like corporate-y or whatever, but it's like a consistent sort of like branding. I think we've kind of, we've slowly got to sort of what
everything
the Chvpters sound is. Like this is.
Yeah, I think it's just sort of like a natural thing, isn't it? What, like, if you to like listen through to our discography so far, like George says, like there's 3 very different styles, and I think, you know, as every band sort of goes through, it's like you hear that sort of progression from like when they first start with like the first tunes they put out, and you know their first sort of like babies that they're like, oh my god, yeah, this is us. This is definitely what we want and who we are. But then you jump like a few months later and you think, what? No. And then you sort of like you're writing this new material that that you can sort of all be like, yeah, this is definitely more what we are. You really start like find yourself.
We're discovering
something
chapters
that doesn't exist.
Discovering something that doesn't exist.
It's an idea. Yeah.
I was actually referencing the Phineas and Ferb theme tune, but no one got it, so it's okay.
No, I didn't. Sorry. Okay, here's a question then. Out of the 3 singles that we have seen, you, Demon Actress, what is the direction that you're writing in now most similar to?
That's actually a good.
I
think.
I'd say.
Yeah.
I think we're agreeing on
Theme.
actress. Cam.
Yeah, I'd probably say so. Yeah.
That's my favourite one, so I'm winning. Happy days.
Yeah.
Harry's winning.
He's getting what he wants.
Yeah.
I would say so. There's a equal blend of sort of everything that's in there, isn't it?
I think
It's gonna be better.
kind of the under themes of you and Demon are still influenced by what we're doing, but I think that stands out more because it is for its overall theme. I think catchiness as well. Like
Style, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even with a very poppy structure, you had a very confusing structure, as someone told us.
Complicated structure.
The most confusing.
And then actress was quite proggy.
Interesting. All right, cool. So I've got one more question. We've been asking all the bands on these interviews if they were to build their ultimate festival bill that Chvpters would perform alongside. I need you to give me 6 bands that you'd like to play with. Now, so far, I've not done any interviews with more than 3 band members, and they've been all diplomatic and chosen 2 each. But there's 4 of you, so you might have to scrap it out a bit.
I'm gonna collectively sit back a little bit because I'm a bit terrible at picking back. You guys, I would be happy with anybody.
I think I might be quite terrible at this as well because all the
Me
bands
too.
that I want to play with are like fucking Car Bomb and Girl of Glass and shit like that. So.
Ben and Cam.
Cam, do you want to do 3 and I'll do 3?
Oh god, all right. I mean, like collectively, I know that there are bands that we all love and we'd all love to play like on the same bill as, just because influence-wise, I think we like Spirit Box is like a major one. I think it's like they're just an absolute corker of a band, and we like them. They're all right. That's one. This is how I hate being asked this question because it like changes every 5 minutes. I don't really know. Ben, like we'll go back and forth. Ben, you do one now.
Loath, I'm picking a band, Loath.
You know what?
There's just no explanation needed there.
I'd love to have the next opportunity to sit aside the stage and watch a drummer as well. So
yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I could roll with that. I'm going to go with Error.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've
Oh.
never thought about that before, but I'm a massive Error fan.
Snowblood is my favourite tune of that.
Incredible. All that Luminescence album is just bloody. Yeah, I'm going to go with Error. Cam, have you thought of another one?
I mean, I suppose if we were to go, I don't know. I suppose if we were to pick like a local band that we played with before, I think it'd be a fun idea to sort of throw in there. I guess like the Knife Bride lot. Those guys. They're just popping off at the moment, and they're just awesome. And I think we have so much respect for them, love for them that it'd be silly not to include them on this sort of bill.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Knife Bride. I need 2 more.
I'm going to go with Leprous because I think that would be an awesome show. Harry, do you know Leprous?
I've heard of them. Didn't they top the bill at Radar Festival one year, I think, if I'm correct?
Last year or the
Year
before that? Was it year before? Wow. Yeah.
I've not really delved into them, but I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
Incredible.
Maybe
It's like
it was last year.
It's like metal cross with opera.
Right. Okay. Wow.
Very thematic. So
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you went to go see them last year, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
The last one, which I don't know if you guys will accept it. But I think Harriet.
Oh yeah.
Harriet.
Yeah,
Right.
nice.
So good.
And Ollie's a massive Harriet fan as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he'll be happy as well. So you've got on your ultimate lineup playing as Chvpters. You've got Spirit Box, Loathe, Error, Knife Bride, Leprous, and Harriet.
That's a banging show. I can't lie. That's a great show.
That's a good event.
Yeah, you make it happen. Yeah.
Next year's built.
Yeah.
Cool. Guys, thank you so much for jumping on. Really, really appreciate it. And everybody at home, if you haven't got your Hammerdown Festival tickets yet, get yours now, and we'll see you at the next one.
Bring it on, guys.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much, man.